You've probably seen talent shows on television like X Factor, American Idol, where there's a panel of judges and people come on and sing, and sometimes one judge will say, that's world class, you're going to be a star, and then somebody else will say, that's nonsense, that's a load of rubbish, that's self-indulgent nonsense. Now, how does this happen? Well, it happens because when you assess a number of performance areas, a lot of subjectivity is involved. So in doing your assessment, performance-based assessment, it's important to work out the level of inference. Now, the level of inference varies from very low to very high. It's a continuum. So let's be clear about what we firstly mean by low inference assessment. And that's quite simply where there's a widely established correct answer. If you're asked, when did England win the Soccer World Cup? Very easy. Well, certainly for me, 1966. England only won it once. It's a factual question. A lot of things are low inference. For example, conducting a fight or setting up an experiment. There's an established procedure for doing this. And in low inference assessment, typically a checklist. We're all familiar with that. It's a list of stages, operations, and you tick off if the learner, the student, has actually met those. So if all the ticks are there, we pretty much say that's a competent performance. Now, with high inference assessment, this is where the performance is less directly visible. When we talk about assessing thinking, we can't see thinking, it's internal mental activity. So we have to infer it by what students do and how they respond to questions. And things to do with creativity, managing teams leadership, there are different interpretations, different paradigms, perspectives on what is good in these areas. So that type of assessment, high inference assessment, is actually more challenging. And that's where we typically have a rating scale or a scoring rubric. But even there needs to be some established criteria that we can justify in order to say this is very poor or no. Equally, to give a student the highest score, perfect 5, we have to justify this on criteria, even though subjectivity is involved. And that's a more challenging assessment task.